Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Minecraft Emporium. You see, I was watching back an older Mumbo Jumbo video, and in it, Mumbo Jumbo presented the quarter piston door, in which something like a stair was extended and retracted in a bit of an interesting way. But it got me thinking, because what is the smallest gap that a piston door can operate? And that also got me thinking, if you were to hide a barrel somewhere, what is the smallest gap possible that it can be accessed from? And so in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing this contraption right here, in which I believe presents and exhibits the smallest gap physically possible in Minecraft that you can still access a container through. It is founded, as you can see from this little glass view, from two, or I suppose three, predominant principles. First is that ender chests, and chests in general, are 1 pixel shorter all the way around, as you can see compared to the grass block down below. And the fact that snow can be controlled to a 1 by 1 pixel height. You can, add one layer and basically add a pixel each time. And so, what it got me thinking is that this gap right here is 1 pixel wide by 1 pixel tall. Hello everyone, this is actually Editing Alex here, just trying to clarify what past Alex was remotely trying to say. So when I say 1 by 1, I'm not exactly clear what I mean. What I mean by this is that the edge of the ender chest, if you were to bring it down, and the height of a snow, I'll try my best to put something on the screen, creates a space back there marked by my cursor here that is 1 by 1 pixel wide. That's what I mean by 1 by 1, even though that the ender chest and snow itself is actually 1 by 16 by 16. Gosh, this is really confusing. Hopefully that clarifies it up. You can actually create a really small 1 by 1 pixel gap. And for those of you wondering why, or I suppose the eagle-eyed viewers who are wondering why we don't use something like a path block, which is actually a pixel taller than snow, is that the path block, as you can see by those black lines, actually has a hitbox that is a full block. And so for all intents and purposes, it is not a full block. And soul sand, if you're also wondering, or any of the other blocks that are similar to these, don't work in the slightest. So we actually have to use snow, even though theoretically it's just slightly larger than what it could be if Minecraft was a little bit more predictable. Alrighty, I'm gonna let past Alex hop right in, and hopefully you enjoyed my explanation. And that also got me thinking back to Mumbo Jumbo's video, again, on what truly is the smallest gap we can operate. Furthermore, before I actually tell you about the build itself, what we are doing here is we are accessing barrels from the farthest possible point that they can be accessed from. For example, this point over here simply cannot be accessed, however this point over here, it can be accessed. And so you can notice the barrel in this build is at the farthest distance. So keep in mind, we're using a 1 by 1 slice at the maximum distance the player can reach in order to give you this specific build right here. And you might be wondering, Alex, where on earth is even the barrel? Well, that, my friends, is part of the genius of this design, because it is crazily different to access. My greatest tip is to go and crank your sensitivity down and crank your FOV down. Next, I've placed honey blocks on the floor. Moving my mouse is just giving an atrocious amount of movement, and if I can just reach the chest, I can grab a potion of Turtle Master, which further slows down the player's movement, such that I can align my player's vision. So what we're going to do is splash a few times the potion of the Turtle Master, and you can see that we're using snow and an ender chest. And hopefully, I might have to speed this up in the end product, we can reach just inside of the corner there, and as you can see, access the barrel full of diamonds. If I was to show you this view right here, well, you're not going to see much. You can't even see the barrel itself. That is how absurdly small this gap actually is. As you can see from this position, I'm going to have to move my mouth unfortunately, there's a 1 by 1 pixel width all the way at the bottom there, and we're moving all the way to the edge. If I can possibly grab it there for the barrel. I'm going to reduce my hideous settings so that I can actually move around and show you things. However, hopefully you do enjoy this type of concept. If you're wondering where the piston aspect comes from, we're simply moving the barrel back and forth. And again, you might be wondering, why don't I just extend a block straight down in the center there? Well, that is not going to be operating the smallest gap. That is going to be operating a gap that is, say, the band all the way around of the ender chest. Hopefully that makes sense, that moving that infinitesimal gap is better than moving an entire block. And so by extending this backwards, we move it outside of the player's range, as I mentioned in this demonstration here, too far for the player, oops, sorry, I have to stand on the diamond blocks here, too far for the player to reach, and thus the player cannot access the barrel. And so if I was to stand here, you probably can't even tell the difference because of how absurdly small that gap is that this piston door is operating. And so hopefully you do enjoy the music that is playing in the background. It's a little special selection that I hope you do enjoy. And furthermore, I hope you did enjoy this little showcase for the contraption that I've designed for today's video. In any case, if you do enjoy, consider subscribing. We're working our way to 30 subscribers. And other than that, take care and have a marvelous rest of your day.